Kyler, we're a third of the way through the season. Memorial Day is generally considered a pretty good benchmark for how a team sits, and it's when the record really starts to matter. The Reds are one game under 500, about to kick off here to get back to 500 today. We'll see where they sit and more on Reds Access coming right up. Welcome to Reds Access, your weekly Reds talk show, going over Reds news, games, and more. As always, your hosts, Collin and Kyler Osterberger, two lifelong Reds fans who love to talk ball when things are going good. We are now a third of the way through the season, Kyler, 27-28, a game under, but plenty of missed opportunities. None hurt more than the two games over the weekend. We've been talking about it before the show. What do you think about the Reds so far as we have turned the corner and really start to look at a record that kind of shows what a team actually is?
Yeah, no, it's definitely underperforming from what our original thoughts were of all the offseason moves and Tito coming on as a manager. It's really disappointing, to be honest with you. And it really goes back to just these series that we should be winning. It feels almost like the teams that we shouldn't beat, we beat, and the teams that we just can't win the games we need to win, in a sense. And go back to the Pirates series, we lost 2 out of 3. Should have been a series we sweep.
Oh yeah.
The Cubs over the weekend, blown 2 games. These are games that we should be winning, but we'll go win against the Dodgers or something like that. It makes no sense, but then can't win against the Pirates or St. Louis or whatever it is. So I don't know. It's not performing well in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I hear a lot of people saying the Reds are playing just as well as they did in 2023 so far this year. And that's true. The Reds in 2023 had already played the Dodgers 6 times, and they played many other teams that were very good baseball teams by the time we got to May. And they beat the Dodgers, I think, 5 of 6 games. This Reds team, I have no faith in beating the Dodgers. I'll tell you the one thing that gives me faith, though, and this has nothing to do with the whole episode, but just kind of on the whim. This team had no life in it 2 weeks ago. You watched every game, you thought, well, if they don't score 7 runs, they're going to score 0. Do you know, Kyler, who the guy is that's giving the Reds offense life this right now that I have hyped up for 2 years, that started the season in AAA, that didn't get a fair shot against Clayton Kershaw or Justin Verlander, comes up, strikes out 4 times, gets sent right back down, and look who's performing, Kyler, and giving this team just a little bit of life on offense.
My guess would be Willie Beeman, baby.
That would be Willie, old Dub B over there, Willie Beeman, the kid himself.
What was that? 5 home runs in a row, 4-game stretch, 5 home runs.
Yeah, he's an animal, dude. He is an animal. I'm telling you, if you can keep his mental state good, because there are guys like De La Cruz that are still right at league average hitting that maybe starting to turn a corner now if he's healthy and definitely not stealing as many bases as you would like and striking out way more than you would like. But, you think they'll come around. And Spencer Steer's coming around. I mean, he's not doing great, but he's hitting 222. It's better than 150. McLain, I don't know what we're going to do with that. But there are guys that are coming around, And if you can just get meaningful contributions continually through guys like Spencer Steer, Matt McLain, Elly De La Cruz, and importantly, a power bat in the lineup, Kyler, like Will Benson, who, by the way, is already 3rd in the team in home runs, despite playing in only 15 games.
Yeah. No, and what's crazy, too, is we've kind of talked about De La Cruz as performing league average, and we obviously, at the beginning of the season, thought he would be an MVP candidate. So underperforming what we originally thought, but I did pull up some statistics that if he's on track, actually for his career high in home runs, he's on track to hit 27 this season. A career high in runs, he's supposed to hit 112 projected. Career high in RBIs, he's projected to hit 112. So he's still playing well, historically compared to his previous seasons. But we obviously thought that he would be doing a lot more, and even being a leader of the Reds team, and it just hasn't shown this year. So the league average for him is he's still playing good. Just I want more from him. I want more leadership. I want less errors. I want less strikeouts, and I feel like that's really just put a drag on Elly De La Cruz this year.
Well, let me ask you this, and we're going to talk later in the show about some of the guys, the stars, that young core, and how they're slumping, and they need to really turn it up. Like I said, Steer, McLain, those guys. And we're going to talk about some of the guys might be help coming: Chase Burns, Sal Stewart, some of the guys in the minors still. But we talked last episode 2 weeks ago now about floating near 500, and if that was at expectations, below expectations. We've gone over that, but as we get closer to the trade deadline, I know we're still 2 months out, but you got to start thinking about this stuff. You got to be competing at the end of June, right? We got a month to really kick this into gear because you're going to get a month off or a week off at the All-Star break, and they're probably going to start shopping for guys before the trade deadline or selling. I saw something on Chatterbox today. Kyler was talking about, would you rather the Reds lose 10 in a row or win 10 in a row? Be buyers or sellers? And what I was reading was, I'd rather them do one or the other. Don't keep playing 500 baseball. Either lose 10 in a row, show us you're a bad team, and let us sell guys like Friedel and Hayes and get money. Or let us win 10 in a row like we did in 2023, 13 in a row, and let us be meaningful contributors, meaningful playoff push. Let us actually go and get it done at the trade deadline and see what we have and let this team play a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't think of a way unless they can put something together and start playing more consistent baseball. I just don't. This team right now, I just don't see them competing for a postseason. And that might just be me, like, glass half empty outlook on it. But I mean, it's been 500 baseball all year and struggling to win these games that we blow leads and stars not performing. I just don't know how we get there. And I think we need to be sellers before the deadline and maybe even try to go into a rebuild and figure out some new pieces. But I feel like we're always in a rebuild, but just something's got to get shaken up.
Yeah. So let me tell you, the Reds have the just about league average, so the 15th best team ERA. So we, Kyler talking about going into rebuilds or we really are a league average team. We have a 15th best ERA. Our team hitting, Kyler, is a 94 OPS plus. So we really are just above league average in pitching and just under league average in offense. So, honestly, I think the 27-28 record shows a pretty good idea of the type of team we are.
Yeah.
And there are other teams that are pitching better than the Reds that have worse records. The Rangers are one of them. The Rays are really close to us. The Braves are pitching better, just barely, but they have a losing record still.
They started off pretty slow.
But point is, there's still an opportunity, and there's still in our pitching staff. There's not a guy on here other than Ian Javo's had 2 bad games and been hurt. I'm looking just at statistics. There's not a guy on here that has bad statistics. Our bullpen, ERA, are top 5 guys in the pen: 3.96, 3.76, 2.77, 4.37, 2.84. Brett Suter, 2.54. Richardson, 1.32. May, 3.75. That's a recipe for success on the pitching side. It's getting consistency in the hitting. And this isn't even something we're planning to talk about today, but let's not talk about the young guys. Let's talk about overall as a team. Austin Hayes, I believe, had an interview the other day, Kyler. I don't know if you saw this, talking about it was Steer. It was Steer talking about a conversation that the team had after the series with the Pirates, I think, going into Chicago or going into the Chicago series. And they were talking about how they had a conversation about what they're doing wrong hitting. And you've really seen, double-digit base hits in 4 straight games now?
Yeah.
You're seeing the guys put together some hits, just trying to make contact, not doing too much. And as much as I love guys kind of hit a ton of home runs, this team doesn't have those guys. They just don't. They have a bunch of 20 home run, 25 home run guys. I thought McLain was a 30 home run guy, and he had the fresh, his rookie year, he looked like it, but I don't know where he's at now. And then our other big home run guys like Strand are hurt. So Benson's a guy who can hit 30 if he runs into them. But other than that, you really do have to play contact baseball, and that's so against the league these days, But if the Reds want to win, they got to play to their strengths.
Yeah, you need to score runs. It comes down to getting people on base and scoring runs, and score more runs than the opposite team. As easy as that sounds, we seem to not be able to put that together sometimes.
No, 100%. And I guess go get a bat at the trade deadline is what I'm trying to say, right? We're game under. If we play 500 ball at the trade deadline, I just want to see us for once buy in. Let the guys get hot in August. You mentioned losing the series to the Pirates. That sucks, man. But do you remember in 2023 that last two series of the season, we had 7 straight against the Pirates, and we just had to win 1 game?
Yep, couldn't do it.
Could not do it. So the Pirates are the Pirates are, man. That just is what it is. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not doing anything like that. Let's go out and win. Let's go out and let's win some ball games against teams that we can beat. The Royals being one of them. We have 2 more to sweep them. Play the Cubs at 500 ball. Play the Cardinals at 500 ball. Pirates are the Pirates. Play the Brewers at 500 ball. Quit looking at these teams like they're above us. The Brewers are sitting under us. There was a time the Reds were a really good team, man.
Yeah.
Like now we're okay being third. I literally looked at the standings today, Kyler, and I said, "Oh, we're in 3rd place." And then I thought, wait. Like, it was like, oh yeah, we're in 3rd. We're not last. All right.
I saw someone, and I can't remember. It's some type of reporter or someone that just covers a lot of sports, and they were talking about how the Reds are just always a 500 team. They're either a 76 and 86 team or they're an 86 and 76. They'll never be better. They can be worse, obviously, but they're always going to sit around that 500 or a little above or a little below, and that's what it feels like. It feels like we just can't figure it out as a team. We get runs scored, and then our bullpen blows it, and that's what happened the last 2 series. And we can't score runs for 5 games in a row, and our pitching only gives up 1 run, but we lose those games. It's like I don't know. I just feel like these are games that we shouldn't be losing, and that's what's causing us to fall so behind.
Yeah, and it's always one or the other keeping us in games, but that's the making of a 500 team is teams that, lose. They might win some games against good teams, but lose games against bad or good teams as well. But they win the games against bad teams, right? So they do both. They lose the game they're supposed to lose and win the game they're supposed to win. That's what if you're a 500 team, that's what the Reds embody perfectly. I'm not saying they win games that they're leading on in the 8th. That's obviously not true after the Cubs series. But what I'm saying is they beat teams they're supposed to beat generally on paper, Royals being one of them, and they lose to teams they're supposed to lose against. And we need to get over that. And, Kyler, that's the makings of a 500 team. It's what a 500 team is, and we both think the Reds can be above that. But it's hard when you've got key contributors not contributing. And we've beat this over the head, Kyler, more times than I can count, I think, over the last couple weeks. Guys like Steer, McLain, and De La Cruz. I know you're mentioning a lot of career highs, and you're talking about RBIs, runs, home runs, a lot of key statistics, right? But at the end of the day, he's still striking out a lot in key situations. I couldn't tell you a time I saw a guy take more strike threes down the middle than Elly De La Cruz.
I know we've kind of had conversations too about that he leads the league in most strikeouts by
bad strikeouts. Yeah. So it's most strikeouts, including a called ball strike or called strike ball. But that's only going to go so far. I excuse that. But how many times have you seen Elly De La Cruz come to the plate, Kyler, in key situations, and he just sits there and takes strike 1, strike 2, and swings a strike 3?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's just not good mechanics at the plate, not good discipline.
That's not his decision. I promise you that. Every once in a while you say, "Oh, he was going to take a pitch there," blah blah blah. But when it happens,
he's always been a gun ho hitter. Like when he came up in the league, he was swinging strike ones like no other.
Yeah. So what happened? That's my thing. And I know it had to have came from somewhere, right?
It could be just because of the strikeout rate, him struggling. Maybe the just hitting coach wanted him to maybe start watching more strike ones, whatever. Like you said, it's coming from someone most likely because Elly De La Cruz has never been scared to pull the trigger on a strike 1 and just scream for it.
Also could never miss a fastball. And now he's hammering off-speed pitches and swinging through fastballs. Yeah. So there's some sort of change in how he's supposed to handle the bat. I don't like it personally.
Well, I told you at the beginning of the year, he came in this year with a new stance, and I don't know if maybe that adjustment to his swing, his stride, whatever it might be, maybe that might be throwing him off, but I don't know. It seems so inconsistent with his at-bats now.
Sure. And you have guys like then other guys that should be picking up like Spencer Steer, right? And Spencer Steer, Kyler, his first full season hitting, he hit 271, had an 820 OPS, 23 home runs, 86 RBIs. Really a great season in a lot of ways. And he finished 6th in Rookie of the Year voting. we're 2 years removed from that, and he hit 225 last year, Kyler, and he was a league average hitter. Maybe Spencer Steer's just a league average hitter. Maybe,
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely worse than league average right now, but he's getting back into the swing of things. He's getting back to getting a little bit of power in it, and maybe Steer is a league average hitter. You mentioned maybe we go into a rebuild, and this is off topic from talking point, but you mentioned what if we go back in another rebuild? Well, because we always get these guys that just be these huge talents that come up and then you never know if they pan out. And maybe Matt McLain isn't the guy we saw his rookie year. Maybe Matt McLain's just not. He came out of nowhere. Matt McLain wasn't on the top prospect list. And all of a sudden, he was this great player, and he got called up. But you need those guys to perform because you can't put all the weight on Elly. I'll tell you, I think a lot of it, too, is putting Elly in the 3 hole. I think having someone like Elly in the 2 and Hayes in the 3 makes a lot more sense. Protecting Elly a little bit further. I don't want
Beeman. Or you want Beeman in 4.
No, I think Beeman in 5. I think something like I was thinking about this the other day. I don't trust him in the 4 hole because I don't think he's going to. I want Steer in the 4 hole, to be honest. If he can come around and hit. And then I want Beeman in the 5 because I don't trust Will Benson not to strike out enough to make sense in a 4 hole.
Yeah.
But I trust if I have 2 on and 2 out because Friedel walks and De La Cruz walks or he gets a base hit or whatever happens, and we have 2 on and 2 out, I trust Will Benson to swing out of his shoes, swing his ass off, and try to pull one out of the seats, Yeah. I trust Will Benson to do that. And that's what you need every once in a while. That's the Jay Bruce type archetype guy.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, Will Benson's a better Jay Bruce. And people
I like to compare to like Adam Dunn almost. Dude either crushes it to the river or strikes out is typically the at bat.
So I was comparing Elly De La Cruz and Jay Bruce today on StatCast, and they're not similar players. Jay Bruce had a slower swing, but if I look it up, I bet you Will Benson and Jay Bruce are probably pretty similar players.
Yeah,
strikeout rates, hard hit rates. I bet you they're pretty similar players. I don't see.
I'd give Beeman more power though. Beeman's definitely got a lot more power in his bat.
I don't know, man. Bruce never could just get on base enough, but he 35 home runs about every year he was a Red. But regardless, you need those guys to contribute, and you got guys like Steer. Hitting under 230 this month. It was under like 200 the month before. So maybe he picks it up and hits 240, and that's great.
Well, he started off really slow too, just kind of battling those injuries and being a DH when he should not have been playing whatsoever, in my opinion.
I agree. Matt McLain, the same thing. Matt McLain only played as long as he did because we needed him to play. And now you see it hurting. Matt McLain hasn't had a home run in how long?
Yeah.
He had 4 home runs the first 2 weeks of the year. And now he's hitting 185. His OPS is down to like 690. And or 600 rather. I mean, what are you going to do with that? That's
right.
And so he's off today. I saw him today in the lineup, Kyler. Gavin Lux and Will Benson are playing against a lefty.
Yeah.
You need to give some of these guys a day off, man, because they need it. So my question is, like, with regards to the trade deadline and, a lot of these guys slumping, kind of, we can agree, are because of injuries and, and this is what it is. And a lot of the pitchers doing poorly, Kyler. It's a lot of fatigue. It's guys that are pitched like Santion, who has the tied most appearances in the MLB this year.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, but and then you don't really have, and with the bullpen, I feel like we don't have many options to turn to. Like Diaz is still struggling in AAA. You can't.
Well, who you can turn to.
Huh?
We're getting into it next here, but you know who we can turn to, and that would be the guy that will be moving to the bullpen. I guess this is a good transition point of any. A guy that will be moving to the bullpen because somebody is going to be knocking on the front or on the door of Major League Baseball very soon, Kyler. It is the absolute phenom that is Chase Burns at AA, who has struck out 45 hitters in 29 innings. Which could very well push Nick Martinez into the bullpen.
Yeah, Burns has been a monster this year. I mean, I'm very excited for that call up. But yeah, I guess if Martinez gets kicked to the bullpen, we discussed weeks ago that he's really good for the first 4 innings, and after that he gets rocked. But just it's hard now. We're in this.
By the way, it was 5 innings, 0 runs. The 6th inning, you have 3 runs, and it was like, great, here we go.
But like, I feel like our starting rotation is really solid. Our bullpen has performed, I would think, pretty well. We were a little worried about the bullpen at the beginning of the year. I know the last 2 series we've kind of blown some leads.
The Cubs also have the best offense in baseball. So I can't, as much as it pissed me off to watch it, the Cubs have the best offense in baseball.
But like going back to it, we don't have many faces to turn to. Like Diaz, that should be in the MLB and what we thought was going to be our closer, is struggling. Like I don't know. It goes right back to this. Something's got to shake up. Something's got to change. Obviously, you don't see change unless you change. So I don't know. I think Burns is probably this year soon.
Has to be because you need the pitching. You need the pitching, and you need to give guys days off, like you're saying. They're guys that are spent. You have to send Martinez to the bullpen so you can give guys like Santion days off.
Yeah.
You can give it's not even Santion you can give days off. It's guys like Ashcraft days off, who's pitched in 22 games. Barlow is pitched in 25 games. So you can have
what's up with Lauder? I know that he got pulled again.
I was just about to bring that up. I don't think there's been news on it yet, man, but I'll tell you, it didn't look good. It was 2 pitches into his outing or whatever. He grabbed his arm.
Yeah, I was going to say he grabbed his arm and it looked bad.
They tried to avoid Tommy John, which I don't understand why you don't just get the procedure done. I do not understand it. Yeah. I guess, yeah, I mean, I can look it up. I haven't heard anything. I saw the I
haven't heard anything either. I just know I think it was last week he was
they said he strained his oblique. And he will need to wait a few more weeks before he can build up again. The Reds said it was a fairly significant injury.
I don't think there's no way Lauder's going to be touching the MLB this year. There's no way. He's been struggling with injuries. I think he's
been struggling from pitching, like in his. But so yeah, 100%. But guys like Burns, man, we need them. We could, how changing it would be kind of have 100 green 2 in the rotation. And have a guy, as much as I'm giving crap to Nick Martinez, I'm trying to move into the bullpen all year. I know.
But does it go back to what you said with like the Reds management, where they want these guys to play full years and win Rookie of the Year for draft compensation? Is that what we're going to do again and wait for Burns till next year?
Only one guy can win Rookie of the Year, Kyler. And that gets to the other guy we have in the minors right now, who's Sal Stewart on the hitting side. It might be make a decision. I think the first guy that gets called up is the guy that's going to get called up. It's going to be Chase Burns or Sal Stewart. Now, here's the thing is that from a pitching side, you'll see a lot of prospects pitching go to AAA because they'll face big league hitters in AAA.
Right. On rehab assignments.
Hitters from the hitting side usually skip AAA. Usually it's AA to MLB.
Yeah.
So
to me, yeah, I was going to get it seems like Sal Stewart would probably get that call first. Especially with our offenses kind of on and off and struggled a little bit.
But I will say his power is not really there. He's he's hitting 331, which he has an OPS almost 900. He's striking out almost never. But the power, it's doubles power. It's which the Reds apparently seem to love.
But where do you put Stewart?
Do you want my honest answer to that question?
Because he typically plays third and second.
Do you want my honest answer to that question?
Marte and McLain, what do you do?
McLain probably goes to AAA.
Yeah. Get some confidence back. And
Marte's out for 6, but so put either Stewart at third base and bench Espinal to be the platoon player he's supposed to be.
But Espinal has performed a lot better.
Espinal has performed against lefties.
True.
Or put Stewart at second base and send McLain down because he needs it.
Yeah. But then what do you do when McLain starts playing well in AAA? Like that's where we get in these. We have multiple people in the same position, but then we struggle in the outfield.
Do you believe Noel Marte be a better utility player or Santiago Espinal be a better utility player?
Marte.
Okay, so you trade Espinal.
Yeah, it's true.
There's not enough roster room for everybody.
Yeah, well, not enough roster room for infielders for the Reds, apparently. We have all the infielders in the world and no outfielders.
Speaking of which, I saw Jake Fraley hit a 110-mile-an-hour home run in AAA last night.
I saw that as well.
I hope he can bring that to the majors when he gets
It
back.
wasn't it his first game? His rehab.
Well, I guess Connor Joe gets DFA'd maybe. You know what? We're making this for no reason. Garrett Hampson's on the roster. It's like he's gone. Like don't as soon as So, but it'll be Connor Joe or Garrett Hampson gets sent down for Fraley, and it'll be whoever's left gets sent down for Marte.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you have these guys on the farm that are going to be turning up and heating up, and you see these starts are electric from Burns. You see these, rates that are incredible from Sal Stewart. You think, man, the Reds major leagues could use these guys. And maybe, just maybe, Kyler, the confidence that bringing up Elly De La Cruz gave the Reds in 2023, maybe one of these guys gives and I bet you it's position player because the pitcher comes every 5 days. That's not going to – look how the Pirates are dealing with Paul Skeens. But if you put Sal Stewart out there and he's hitting 330 as a rookie, you can bet everybody else starts hitting better too.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think we're more hurting in the positional player hitting aspect than the pitching. So to me, it makes more sense to bring Sal up than Chase Burns. But who knows with this management and this ownership, you never know what to expect.
No, and the big thing, man, is I can see it now. I guess like July 30th, and it's time for the trade deadline. And our management's going to come out and say, it's like we traded for two major leaguers. Here's Sal Stewart and Chase Burns. And they pull them up and they host the Chase Burns bobblehead night. And they do and we don't actually get any better on paper because they actually trade away like Austin Hayes or something.
Yeah.
And to get prospects and a player to be named later.
To rebuild and pull them through the farm and see them in 4 years and be back in the same spot of playing 500 ball, trading players and calling others up. It's a constant cycle.
Well, they say, don't you?
What are you going to do? Move or whatever?
Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Exactly. Where are you going to go?
At this point, we should let the Bengals and Reds move.
Yeah, well, hell, Katie Blackburn did that a few months ago.
I thought we were going to play in Chicago Stadium there for a minute. That was the rumor going around.
Yeah, she said, she was like, well, we don't have to stay here once the lease is up. Okay. Then you go. Then go. My life will be happier without the Bengals in Cincinnati, and I promise you that.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Cincinnati sports is just absolutely insane, the ownership. I don't know who let two owners that act the way they do own the baseball and football team in Cincinnati at the same time. I saw, what's funny is I saw a letter from Castellini. What did it say? It said something on or was it Crawl? I can't remember. There was some type of letter a long time ago, and it was talking about how like this new ownership's gonna take over.
It was Castellini bought the team. He said we're going to bring championship baseball back to
Cincinnati. Yeah. Castellini wrote it. Yep. I couldn't remember. I remember it was a letter, but I couldn't remember who wrote it or what it was. But it was basically saying like this new ownership is going to play for championships. They're bringing like a winning tradition, and it's like, where? Like, what do you mean? Like we're still waiting. The Reds have been horrible. Well, I don't want to say horrible. That's a stretch. I'm just upset, but we have not been a really good team since 91. That's the last time, that 70s to 90s stretch. That's the last time the Reds have been like every year you expected them to make the postseason.
I would say 2010 to 2014 was a pretty good time to be a Reds fan too.
Yeah, but it was a small stretch.
It was as long of a stretch as the Great Reds, the Big Red Machine.
Yeah, and that was
they didn't win as many home runs. Or they didn't win as many World Series.
Cueto.
Yeah.
But like, how much longer do we like put up with this? Like, it feels like, and we've kind of talked about this, like ownership, just like they know they can do whatever they want, and we're gonna still show up. We're still gonna buy tickets. We're still gonna buy jerseys. They make one little move to make everyone happy, and that like everyone forgets about all the bad. And I'm just tired of living that way as a Cincinnati Reds fan.
So I'm looking at StatCast Baseball Savant here for just, trying to think of positives for the Reds this season that we can really build on. And one of the guys, Kyler, that I've been thinking
these players that we didn't think anything of, like Hayes, Lux. I mean, we thought they would carry some weight, but Trevino. I think Trevino is a great pickup from the Yankees. He's really proven why he should be our everyday catcher. No questions about it.
Oh yeah, Stevenson should not be the everyday catcher. Stevenson
No.
might be everyday DH, but since he's came back, the team's been worse. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. So
And
like
they're just
these
not letting
guys
Wynn
that we
play,
picked
which is
up, like
crazy.
Hayes and Trevino, like Lux, they're performing way better than what we gave them credit for. So I am really happy with that, like bottom half of the lineup and those players kind of filling those gaps we needed.
One of the guys, man, that I've been so happy with is Andrew Abbott, who's I know a guy that you weren't too heavy on going into the year.
I mean, I thought he was crafty. I just thought he was kind of an average pitcher. There was nothing like super special. He was crafty. He didn't have crazy speed on fastball.
91 mile an hour fastball. But let me tell you, man, every one of his, I'm looking at his baseball savant page. He looks good.
Yeah.
Average and chase and whiff, but K rate's up. Hard hits, one of the best hard hit rates in the league. Expected batting average, average exit velo.
He's crafty. He doesn't have the speed and all those like nasty pitch, like how we talk about Skeens, like some of the nasty stuff he does. He doesn't have that, but he makes do. He gets by. He's crafty. He gets outs.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. And he's been so good this year, man. I mean, he's had 8 starts, 40 innings pitched. He's pitched to a 1.77 ERA, Kyler. He has looked very good his third season. Now, the question that too is if you think that he's better on paper or on personally is on paper, do you look to deal Andrew Abbott? Like, so it's just it's one of those tough questions, man. But the Reds, first, before they get into the conversation, Kyler, of being championship contenders, and on that note, before we go, of course, make sure to subscribe to us here. We are running a giveaway when the Reds make the playoffs, hopefully this year, and it's not like 5 years down the road. When the Reds make the playoffs, we are running a giveaway, giving away an MLB.com Pro Shop, Cincinnati Reds hat, and a $20 Skyline Chili gift card. But man, I mean, we need to win these games first. We need to go up one game up against the Royals. So we need to sweep them for the rest of the series, to get our day off, come back fresh, and go on a run. And we need to rip off 8, 9 in a row to get back into contention on this thing. Like the Cardinals who did that. The Cardinals ripped off like 10 of 11, and that's why they are where they are right now. Because you go on 2 6-game win streaks and you go 500 the rest of the way, you look up and you're 92 and 72 at the end of it, and you're right there.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. You just got to do it. You got good teams win. A friend of mine likes to say good teams win and great teams cover, and the Reds are not covering right now a lot of the spreads they should be winning. So get back to it. Yeah, be league average, but win the games you're supposed to win. You'll be in the playoffs at the end of it. Especially the MLB, where there's 2 wild cards. You have 10 teams make the playoffs.
Right.
Be barely better than average, and you're in.
30. Yeah. What is it? 30%, 31%.
Yeah. Yep. Just get it done. But the Reds are about to start against the Royals tonight, Kyler. So I think that'll wrap up our episode talking about Chase, Burns, Sal Stewart in the future, looking to come and bring a spark for the Reds, who've otherwise been pretty mundane to start the year here at 27 and 28, looking to get back into it today. And then, of course, discussing some of the guys that are really struggling. Hopefully, next week it's a different song. Hopefully, Matt McLain hits 7 home runs in 7 games. Pitcher Sear knocks in 15 runs in the next week. And Elly De La Cruz somehow miraculously gets a bat with a wider barrel so he doesn't strike out.
Yeah.
But as always, for Kyler Osterberger and myself, we will see you next week, and go Reds.
Go Reds.